Welcome, citizens of the verse. Valsim here. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most requested and, let's be honest, sometimes frustrating topics in Star Citizen: how to dock your ship. With patch 4.3.2, which by the time you are watching this may have already dropped, we have received a bunch of exciting updates related to salvaging, including something players have been asking for since forever: the ability to dock the Reclaimer. Now, while the Reclaimer was definitely the main reason, I decided to make this video. This isn't just a guide for that one ship. We will also talk about docking for other massive vessels across the verse, ships like the Hull C, Polaris, Idris, and more in the future. When I first looked for guides on docking, most of what I found were short videos saying, "It's easy, just follow the three dots until they turn green." Well, easier said than done. The first few times I tried docking, I failed miserably. Sure, you could call it a skill issue, and you wouldn't be entirely wrong, but the truth is, there just weren't any clear explanations out there. This lack of proper guidance even made me delay buying a Hull C for a while. But with the Reclaimer's docking now being a reality, I knew it was finally time to learn. With the help of a few good friends from my org, I dug in, practiced, and figured out how the docking process really works. So in this video, I will be breaking it all down for you, step by step, and sharing the practical tips I use every time I dock a ship. I'm still not perfect at it, but hey, I can dock now, and so can you. So sit back, grab a cup of coffee or tea, popcorn is optional, and enjoy the video. Let's dive in. I arrived at Hurel 2, where I will test for the first time to solo dock a ship. Before starting the test, however, I want to share with you some very useful information about all space stations, and more specifically the position of the hangars: small, medium, large, pods, small, large, and docking ports. Here you have the map for Hurel 2, and you can see that the docking ports are situated near the pads. I found those maps very useful when you have to fly to a station that you do not know well or have difficulties to find most of the time the pads or the docking ports. In the comments below, I will put a link to the website of Delta Consulting, where you will be able to find all the maps for all stations. Now, back to our ship and Hurel 2. You can now easily find that the pads are here and the docking ports are here. So let's move towards them. When in range, you can call the ATC and you will get a docking port. Here we get the docking port 1, and you get the docking HUD with the three dots, which are now red. The three dots represent the roll, yaw, and pitch movements of your ship towards the docking port. Move slowly the ship until all three dots are green and the pitch and yaw dots are in the middle of the HUD and are overlapped. So, the three dots are green, but still not possible to activate the auto docking, and I was confused every time when I tried before and I failed. since it was not clear what I have to do more. I was watching some YouTubers just approaching the docking port without even care too much about the green dots and just pushing N for auto docking. Even they did not took the time to explain. Seems so easy. Yeah, not for me. I never succeeded to auto dock by just approaching the docking port. Hopefully, as I already mentioned, I had some explanations from friends, and I learned that not only the 3 green dots are important, but also the X, Y, Z axis numbers, which you can see here on the HUD. They represent the position of your ship towards the docking ports and the distance. The higher the number, the far is your ship from the docking port. So those numbers must be low, and before I never paid attention about those numbers. I still have to make some more docking tests in order to be able to have a pattern or more exact number. But what I can say now is that the X, Y, Z axis numbers must be between 0 and 50. If somebody has more experience and can share a more detailed numbers in the comments below, I think that a lot of pilots like me will be very happy. So, first, I lower all 3 axis numbers under 50 and using the third-person view, not very precise on that, in order to position correctly the ship towards the docking port. You have to move the ship left, right, up, down, and forward, backwards based on the position of the ship towards the docking port and which docking port of your ship you are using. For the Polaris here I'm using is starboard docking port, so slowly lowering all 3 numbers. Takes time and several time checking also with the third person view. I tried several times to lock pushing the N button, but got the message that I have to adjust the ship in order to align it with the docking port and that the docking port is obstructed. You will get this message until you are in the right distance and can engage the auto docking. Here for me, as you can see, the X, Y, Z axis numbers are very low and I could activate the auto docking. Takes time and patience, but in the end the ship is docked.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay. System off.
I will share with you now also my first docking of the Hull C I did at Magnus Station. Here also a quick view of the station map shows us where the docking port is situated. The docking port of the Hull C is on the port side of the ship, so I'm approaching it, and just personally, and I think that is a advice that can be used by everyone, I always try to approach visually as closer as possible to the docking port, which here I found that by approaching really near the docking port, this helps me better make the docking and especially make a quicker docking. So the pitch yaw and roll dots are green, and with the third person view I try to approach. So the X, Y, Z axis numbers are quite high, so I try to decrease them. So you see the Y is already -35, the X is -44, the Z is lowering under 50, but still it is not enough because I see I have a auto dock path is obstructed. This is my first docking of the Hull C, so I still have to be used with the ship and with the docking port of the ship, but definitely everybody will have such a problem, so you don't hurry, you just take your time to position correctly the ship. The third person is helping a lot, the third person view, but it is not easy because you have to change the angles of view in order to find the correct position of the ship, and with the experience you will have the correct numbers of the axis X, Y and Z. And you see here I'm still very high compared to where is situated the docking port. So let's move a little bit forward and even forward, but now I'm a little bit on top of the docking port, which is not ideal. So trying to adjust. And you see the axis numbers are around 20 and the auto docking starts. So with more practice you can do it and you will be quicker. The same is valid for me. For now, just enjoy the docking of the Hull C.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
And there you have it, citizens of the verse. That's how you dock your ship like a pro. It might take a few tries, maybe a few dents in the hull, but hey, that's part of the fun, right? Once you get the rhythm down, docking actually feels pretty satisfying. If this video helped you out, or at least saved you from another "why won't this thing connect" moment, hit the like button. It really helps the channel and lets me know I'm doing something right. If you enjoy exploring the verse, breaks ships, fixing them, or just having a laugh while learning, make sure to subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss the next adventure. Now it's your turn. Tell me in the comments what ship you have been trying to dock, or maybe share your most epic docking fail. I promise I won't judge. Thanks for hanging out with me, citizens. Fly safe, fly smart, and as always, I will see you in the verse.